Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Most on the rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Syrian truth. Yeah, I was gonna do a video. I started recording it still, just doing like a general review. But it's like there's so little kind of new to talk about in this film, in the new one anyway, the new Matrix film. There, I was like, I'll just kind of touch on the main points. I kind of saw them just pushing out there, man, because it's very clear what they put the film out to do. They're kind of bringing back, because even just highlighting Matrix in the in the mind, just pushing it out there, is gonna have people going back to the old ones, and like them old films, they have all the themes of like getting the minds of the people and whatnot within those movies. So people are really gonna jump on those. But it's like for this one, it's not really saying too much. Like the film's just it's kind of a lame film, really. I wasn't yeah. It didn't really have anything too deep to say as far as it's pushed like compared to the originals more, because like you go to the originals, there's all kinds of things in there. It's like they took like one of the things. Well, okay, let me just skip down because it's on like Geek Island, just a general review. I kind of wanted to skip down. There's a few points I wanted to touch on because I'm going to talk about Zion, but I'll go back to that. So it says this is like halfway through. It says, speaking of the new characters, none of them leave a lasting impression. The normally solid Yahya Abdul Mateen II plays his version of Morpheus with none of the cool or charisma of Lawrence Fishburne. Instead, he's like a fanboy cosplayer, unsure if he's playing the same character or his own interpretation. And that's when I finished the second part as well. It says Jonathan Groff takes a far more successful swing as Agent Smith, but neither leave an impression on par with their predecessors. That's something I clocked with the film. Is like the men are not really there's no men in any kind of position of prominence, man. Even with like the whole crux of the film is meant to be about Neo waking up Neo, because Neo's the one, and then and then him basically, taking care of business. But then it's like man ain't even on the same level that he was in the old films. Hey, he's meant to be on super levels, but they don't even have him doing too much. It's really like you can tell, man. They were basically trying to push the vibe where it's like the men, basically the men, you're no longer needed. You guys have done, you've done your thing for too long, and now it's time, for the women to come out and show you how things are done. And that's the vibe, because it's like Morpheus. Those the two they mentioned here, Morpheus and Agent Smith. You go back to the originals; these guys are fucking warriors, man. These guys were staunch as fuck. Like one of the first scene where Morpheus is teaching teaching what's his name, Neo, man, how to fight. Yo, it's one of the hardest scenes. But then what they took all that out. They don't want any of that, like men getting on levels, men being in prominent positions. The new Morpheus, they explain it like he's just an amalgamation of like of not the real Morpheus. The real Morpheus is dead, but then it's like he's kind of like a program that's based on Morpheus's personality. So he just behaves a bit different, but then you just have him act hella moist, and it's like you can tell for the whole film they're putting the women at the front, and that's how you know as well. Because the other thing you mentioned, Jada Pinkett So it says Fishburne and Weaving's emissions are even more baffling than when you see when you see who does return. Yeah, because the original Agent Smith and Morpheus, they didn't come back. So it's just like the vibrations all off, man. You're watching it and you're like, yo, this guy was riding out like in all the previous films, and now he's just, they made him into a clown. Because why? Especially because it's the Jake Mail, man. When they have the Jake Mail, they have him like the bright orange suit, just like with none of the none of the appeal of what he was. Nothing like the original. Because why? Because they're basically not, destroying the image of Jake, and that's something you see in all Hollywood, man. Where they ain't having too many Jakes, standing and being raw, just raw and real men. That's something that they're putting on the women. They're having a lot of these black women in these roles, and that's where they have what's her name, and they bring back this grimy lowlife Jada Pinkett Smith, man. That's been in the news for like the last fuck knows how long, with Will just like fucking having all these airing all these dirty laundry in public. Like these guys are a mess, man. And they have her basically being a position of prominence as well. They have the new Zion, where it's like they ain't even Zion no more. They moved out and had Io instead. And it's like with the old Zion, they said, oh, these guys, they're too focused on war. they're not looking to make peace. They're just looking to win the war. And then they say, oh, this new place, Io, where they have women in charge. All you see in the positions of prominence is women. You have Jada Pinkett Smith. She's meant to be up in age, and then she's running it. And then it's like all you're seeing is you see some of the lower level guys. It's there'll be men there, but then at the top it's just women. And then like it more likely than not seem like they're making her out to be a lesbian as well, because they have her hugging up on one other black woman, and I'm thinking like, hold on, like that don't even make no sense when you consider like she was dealing with Morpheus before. Then before she was dealing with Morpheus, after she was dealing with Morpheus, she was dealing with a light skinned dude in you see in like Matrix 2 and 3. So it's like they're obviously just pushing out all that new world vibration, man. And it's funny because it's like the original, bruv. It really shows like how what now generally is pushed out. Everything's decayed, man. Everything's worse and everything's waxed worse and worse, man. What's the other thing as well? Because and then okay, let me read on a bit more. So it says, Fishburne away blow up thingy. So it says, hey, remember the French guy? Oh yeah, he was married to Monica Bellucci. Well, we just have him, and who could forget Jada Pinkett Smith as Niobe? Me. Well, she's back in the crucial role of person who says she got way too old a lot. The main issue with The Matrix Resurrections is that the original was a movie stuffed with ideas that left you to interpret them in any way you wanted. Resurrections is here with no ideas, but hopes you build your own interceptions to lift it above its shallowness. And it's like, I mean, look at it's kind of pushing the same kind of that new age vibe, all those futuristic, where it's like, yo, this is the kind of future, and it's the whole kind of like new push they're making is like humans and machines working together, and then humans and machines basically they're like that's how they're basically going to get back to a higher quality of life, more or less. So it's really it's like kind of a working with a system kind of thing, man, where it's like, yo, stop the war. Because I said like the original Zion, they said it was done away with. It either got blown out, or them guys just got left behind. I think they'll well, I think the original Zion got taken out, but like I said, it was like, oh, these guys are doing too much war. So I was like, yeah, these men just saying like, what you call? Are these guys just saying like, with what you call it, with the war thing, um, that like it's a thing where, you know, stop trying to resist, don't rebel against the system. Just just go with the flow. All come together as one. That kind of new age, look as well. But then it says what the one time the film ventures out to say anything for itself is a cringe-inducing 10-minute waffle delivered by Neil Patrick Harris to refute the infamous Ben Shapiro transgender debate. Facts don't care about your feelings, by offering its own take that feelings don't care about your facts. And that's like something you can definitely tell they're pushing, man. With they're just like, yeah, pushing a whole women in that position of prominence, putting that shine on women, and what do you call it as well, man? Like that whole trend as well. They he mentioned it, and it's like from when dude making a film who's now calling himself a woman, then it's you can tell it's a whole mess of confusion. And it's really pushing out that women empowerment, same Western feminist nonsense that's been pushed out. That's all you really see being pushed out. And it says wait, so did I miss the bit with Trinity? But yeah, that is until the one becoming okay. So I don't even know. Well, I must have missed it. Well, you mentioned about Trinity, but then it's like even at the end, and the way you know this as well is because like the whole time, the whole film, it's like when Neo gets woken up, they take him out of like the plant, and then they wake him up, they take him out of the plant, the power plant, and then he's woken up. When he goes back in the Matrix, he can't fly, and they make a whole point of it. But it's like at the end of the film, they have him and Trinity, holding hands, and they jump off the building, and then it will be like Trinity starts flying, and then Neo, so fucking it's so I was like it's so over it. I was like, bruv, this is all just that female empowerment nonsense, man. That's funny. You can. I'm like, bro. I was watching. I was just like, yeah. I was like, this is just all about you're bigging up women, man. That's all the vibe is. So she like they both jump off. Then it's like she starts flying and carrying Neo. And Neo's like, I'm not flying. Are you flying? Are you doing this? And then obviously by the end of the film, they show that both, for no explain reason, like both Trinity and Neo are now both the one. And I was like, yeah, you just kind of came back, and it's like seeing that you know the MO of the whole film, man. It's just pushing out that same feminist nonsense. But it's like they call it the Matrix, but they don't really go into all the stuff that the Matrix went into, man. With the machines, Zion, going into the Matrix, going into Neo, and his role. Like those things are basically forgotten about. Cause yeah, but then hey, it pushed the like I said, it pushed the vibration out to where everyone's, gonna check for the original. It's like watching the original. It's got all the what do you call it, man? All the original vibrations of the in that film, man. It really shows like this whole all these creative enterprises, like cinema. It's like Esau's been spinning the same wheel for a while, man. Like the last 5-10 years, all you had is just everything getting remade. Because why? The spirit's off this place, man. The spirit's really off. I watched it. I was like, bruv, this used to be this one of the hardest film series. They went in. It's obviously, they've read the scriptures and went into certain things, and they brought it out. But then, like when what do you call it, man? Now they're coming back to it. It's like everything's diminished, man. Ain't even got the spirit on them to bring out this something of like near the same quality, man. It really shows this place is toast, man. Read this Isaiah 24:4. It says, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant." Yeah, that's it. The whole everything in the world is all fading, man. It's all withering away. Everything's done out. All these like cinema, it's like people ain't really been pushing out films. It's funny as well because like with Marvel, them man named like what was it, the second part of after Infinity War, they named it Endgame. They called the film Endgame, and it's like after that they ain't had the same, like they ain't really hit the same highs, man. The spirits come off them, man. It's the Endgame. Like all cinema, they released that. It's been done out, man. There ain't really been anything that's been brought out, and that's all Esau's realms, man. The music's done been played out, man. It's funny because like sampling was a thing that was made where people would go back to like 60s, 70s tunes from there, and then just kind of add their own spin on or remix the thing, cover it, whatever. And it's like you kind of had where, but then you haven't really had. You have a few people, like you have 1-2 like artists, like maybe an Adele, where they've got a like you can tell they're supremely talented, man. They're blessed. But then you ain't really got too many people out here that basically, especially when you're dealing with like modern popular music, pop music, it's like the shit's done, man. The spirit's off it. Like they're hell, like it's whack as hell. A lot of the shit is whack as hell, and it's mad lame. It's mad lame, like, and that's why the spirits come off these guys, man. It says therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Yeah, it's basically gonna this whole place, this withering away, man, disintegrating. It's gonna culminate in this place being done away with, man. This whole place is gonna be done, man. This place is gonna be burnt up, and it's happening through. It's been evident. Evident through the spirit that you can see, like the spirit's coming off this place heavy, and that's it's spread to everything, man. That's why people are done out, man. They all the little pleasure seeking, pleasure chasing they're doing is not even availing them anything, man. Man went to watch The Matrix and like, yo, this film's kind of whack. Read this. Second Timothy 3:13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Yeah. Evil men and seducers waxing worse. Everything's waxing worse, man. This whole like that's why with Esau shit it says what if if the days aren't cut short, there's no flesh left to be saved, man. Esau in all aspects is withering, dying, destroying, man. Everything is disintegrating into nothing but waste, man. That's why it's like all just being recycled, man. And that's But yeah, the film is, there's like I said, there's a few things I was gonna say as well with the villain played by Neil Patrick Harris. Like he has a few good lines because he basically brings out a lot of the shit they brought out in like the first film with like Agent Smith talking about how people they want the lie, they want the illusion, that Isaiah what is it, Isaiah 30:10, the prophesying to us smooth things, man. How people all want them lies, man. They want them sweet little lies. And that's really, what the Matrix is, man. Them sweet lies. But that's, he's like the only guy that's really pushing out any good points. Because he really just breaks down the people. And it's funny because it's kind of the way he's talking about it in the film. It's talking about how people kind of go to watch movies and consume media and stuff. And it's like, yeah, people are, that's why people are gonna jump into the metaverse, man. They'll be like, yo, this shit's whack, but at least I can go to the, I can meet my friends in public in the metaverse, man. We can go out and we can do activities in the metaverse, man. We can go to Disneyland in the metaverse rather than in reality, man. And that's really, that's really the vibe, man. But yeah. Yeah, film. Yeah, you can watch it. You can watch it still. But yeah, I think it's online still. Because I think you can buy it on HBO Max, so you'll be able to find it online and kind of watch it. So it's alright. So it's alright watch. But yeah, like Neil Patrick Harris is the only real guy that's saying anything. It's like even Agent Smith, they kind of clowned him, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. So praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Hashem Harakakdash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom. Shalom.